Well, British Defence Minister Michael Fallon is also attending the Munich Security Conference, and DW's Michaela Köfner spoke to him about whether the UK's decision to leave the European Union could affect NATO unity.
There was a lot of talk here to strengthen alliances, to avoid a fallback to spheres of influence. Now you're about to leave a very strong alliance, the European Union. How much are you becoming a sphere of influence for the United States?
Well, we're leaving the political European Union, but we're not leaving the continent. Europe remains our continent, and we're going to go on contributing to the security of our continent. We also have this transatlantic relationship. Our oldest and strongest ally is with the United States. It's a very strong defense relationship. So we see that benefiting both. We see that benefiting the United States, where we will be a bridge between Europe and the United States, but it also benefits the alliance as a whole, that Britain is able to link with the United States in that way.
Now, Britain has always been sceptical of EU ambitions to build up its own force. You are hinging your defence even more on NATO, even more on your US partner in the future. How's that going to work?
Well, defence is for NATO, not the European Union, and we're not alone in trying to encourage the European Union to avoid duplicating what is being done in NATO. NATO has to be our primary defence. And at the last NATO summit, we agreed that the European Union and NATO need to work more closely together, need to avoid duplication. So we have, with other members of the European Union, we have been resisting calls for a European headquarters or a European army. We don't need that. We have NATO. We need to make NATO work properly for everybody.
The EU will no doubt, though, go ahead without you on that, though. Will you still be a stakeholder in that process at all?
Well, it's not just Britain that's been pointing to the need not to set up new unnecessary structures. Many of when we discussed this in Bratislava in September, many other European countries joined with us, saying, look, we already have NATO. We don't need a EU army. We don't need an EU headquarters. They have different roles. Europe has the political role. It can impose sanctions, for example, on Putin. It has the diplomatic clout, but it is NATO that is the military power, and it's very important that we don't have two competing organizations.
So, Michael, thank you very much. Thanks.